That's why you're blocked. Blocked.
That's why you're blocked. You're listening to That's Why You're Blocked podcast.
All right, and we're actually finally back. It's been a while. How have you been?
I've been good. We can introduce ourselves first, then we'll do a quick round of updates.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if this is your first episode, I am Carson Bailey.
I'm Chanel Schatz.
And this is That's Why You're Blocked podcast. But today's episode is highly anticipated and very special. We finally got a nigga in the room.
Where's the sound for the claps?
Wait, I forgot which one it is.
Is that one?
Yes.
Okay. Highly anticipated. So if you don't know, guess, we'll give you a chance to introduce yourself. But we decided that we would, take a quick break from hoeing. So we were like, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, we'll just have some guests. And
as you'll hear from the previous episode, that was a topic of discussion as well. So listen back. But yeah, we haven't had guests. We haven't had much to say. It's been a minute. We didn't forget about y'all. We just
never
ain't had no shit going on.
Basically. But now we do, and we are so grateful to have our guests here. Guests, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, how y'all doing? Y'all can call me Black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, y'all hear that? That's a nigga voice. That's a man. He has some balls.
Okay, do you want to tell us about yourself? Just in general, share as much as you would like, just generally, and you can also tell, like, type of woman you're into or, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I consider myself just someone who's very motivated and ambitious. I tend to go after what I want, and usually I get it. So it's been, very privileged to be in my life, actually. So, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
What's the second half? What type of, women or people are you into?
Honestly, all the women that I've dated have been very polar opposite of me.
I ain't got no type.
I wouldn't say that because, I'm very much considered, the asshole, which take how you want, but also, caring. But, all the women that I date are, super caring. They're all, the caregiver role. They've been, teachers, nurses. And it's always interesting when people see us because they're like, wait, how'd you end up dating Black? You guys are completely opposite. So yeah, I like someone who is passionate about others.
Okay, nice. So you've never dated someone who you would consider is similar to you?
I don't think I would date me.
Interesting.
That's a really good, and actually last summer I realized I wouldn't date me either.
Yeah.
I would not date me either.
I'd probably fuck the shit out of myself. I don't know. Y'all tripping.
Date is the awkward word. Of course I would fucking I'm a great person to hang around and all that stuff. However, I would not date me. I met someone who was literally me, even down to we're having a great time, but you feel like it's time to go, so you leave anyway. Even down to that. And I called Carson and I was like, yeah, shit ain't for me. I don't like this. Nah, I don't like it.
She was like, he's a decent guy. Throw him away.
Don't do that. Don't even. We're not even going to do that. She always try to paint me in the light. Don't. We won't do that. I'm just saying he was just a little too close to me, and it just not what I thought I wanted like that.
I think that's real. That's real. Okay. Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Yes, I have dated outside my race. So very immature Black was definitely a person who wanted to accomplish the rainbow. And
I've never, ever heard someone say that. Please break that down.
How many colors did you get through?
I've had my Asian, my Hispanics, my Indians. I feel like I've gone through the spectrum.
Damn.
Africans. It was. I feel like it was. You're learning yourself. You're learning what you like, what you don't like, what cultures can align with your culture, because that's very important.
Well, where are you from? I think that plays a big role.
I'm from Haiti, actually, born in Haiti.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we got a Zoe on the podcast.
Okay. Well, you know what they say about the Haitians.
What do they say?
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
What do they say?
I don't know. I was hoping you did. But nah. Okay, so this next question would be, who was the freakiest?
Freakiest?
From the rainbow.
Yeah,
Prior to me becoming older and really understanding kinks, I would say it was the whites.
I heard they suck a mean king.
Her
But
Becky been
afterwards,
doing it since 8th
I
grade.
feel like you just gotta find the blacks who do it, and
That is
now
true.
it's been
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
Not
Well,
the
we have
blacks,
had
though.
this conversation before. Me and Carson just be sitting and think pieces back and forth to ourselves, literally all freaking day.
We
and
literally just like TED Talk and voice messages. And like most of
We
the time,
do.
we're on the same side of an argument.
I think we have slightly different views on some things, though.
But I feel like we're on the same side of most arguments.
Yes, we argue back and forth about pizza toppings, not the main crust or the
Yeah.
dough or the stuffed crust, as
Just
I'm hearing is the
nuances.
best. Yes,
Nuances.
but we were talking about how for men in general, I won't even just say black men, it's so easy for them to be considered freaky. You have sex a lot, you're considered freaky. But for women, it's like you have to do a whole bunch of other things to be
Yeah, if
considered
the men
freaky.
put a thumb in your butt.
They're freaky. If they eat pussy, they're freaky. Women
Also,
like
there's a cap on what men can do to be considered freak. Like I feel like, and we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
Like men don't really get to explore their
They don't.
sexuality as women get to explore their sexuality.
That is a good
because,
caveat.
like they're able to explore their sexuality more. The bar for being a freak for them is higher because it's like you could have.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a guy is just like, wait, you doing butt stuff? Yeah. It's lit.
I think that's really true. But
I agree.
I feel like the issue with like women being taught to be super sexual freaks is this like, I don't know, in today's culture, after all like, the 50 Shades and fan fiction have gone popular, it's, to me, sex is a lot of times sounds very violent. And I feel like a lot of women are starting their sexual experiences with like that extra violent, like wild BDSM type of sex. Like being vanilla at this point is considered taboo. Like you're like, I don't really like to do a whole bunch of extra stuff.
I think you don't know what you like until you've seen it or tried it.
I mean, that's a part of it, true, but I
Yeah.
just feel like we're starting pretty
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we're starting at 10 and moving backwards.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Definitely. I feel like some men, you really don't want what you say because
agree to
the
that.
second like a woman says, "Well, yeah, I'm into this, that, and the third," you're like, "Well, that's too much for me." But like, didn't you want a freak? Oh yeah, but she can't have more than like so and so bodies. Didn't you say you want a freak? Like, how did you think she got there? Do you think she studied hard? Do you think she just watched porn and she just automatically
That's what
came
they
up with
think,
something?
Assume that women just become freaks by watching porn. Baby, it's a practice.
Yes.
You have to bounce on it.
Yes, you have to know that you're not
off.
supposed to use your teeth and actually know. You have to know these things and you have to know them in practice.
I remember the first time somebody explained to me like sucking dick. I really didn't get the concept. They were like, it's like sucking a skin flavored lollipop or popsicle.
Who said that to
I
you?
was like,
Who
what?
used those
I was
words?
like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, that was not appealing.
When I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, my dad, I saw one of his dirty magazines and I was on the cover and I was like, I would never do that. Boys pee out of there. And at this stage, at 24, I have watched a man like pee, and for him, that was like that girl. When I tell you he did, and it was a lot, and then he like came right after it. I was like, that really did it for him. I don't know how I feel about this, but I tried it. Okay.
You hear how she be admitting to stuff like unprovoked? She's the type of person that be in the first 48 with the chicken sandwich. And
Oh hell yeah! I saw this and this too, and then they went around the
She'd be
corner.
on DJ Vlad, and he'd be like, "So where'd you get your start in music?" Well, actually, I started selling coke when I was 8 on 18th Street.
I like a backstory. I really do. I love a backstory. How did we get here? Tell me who left the first time. What hurt you? I want to know.
This bitch really just be dry snitching on herself, unprovoked as hell. Nobody asked. We were gonna continue without even bringing that up.
Listen,
I don't even wanna drink the rest of this
People
drink.
have their kinks. We ain't gonna kink shame though.
No. We
don't.
never.
We don't.
We
We don't.
don't. We never. We don't do that.
How? Okay, all right. The question, right? Because there was this person, and they were into some really, really wild stuff. And I was asking them, and I was like, because they had basically said that sexually they're pan, but they only date women. And I was kind of asking, like, what is the extent to, like, I'm like, why is that? And he said, well, there's some things that he's hoping to, when he finally settles down, to, like,
Get
no
rid
longer,
of.
yeah.
I hate that mindset.
And I was like, well, then,
That's like conversion camp mindset.
yeah, I'm
And
like,
it's
so
just
what is like the really bad stuff? And he didn't want to say it. I'm like, it doesn't involve kids, right?
Girl.
So
there's a line. We stop
I
there.
was gonna say, so like at a certain point, you should be able to kink shame that, because that to me,
I just
is
feel
a
like that shouldn't
crime.
be a kink.
I agree. I don't really think that's
I
a kink.
shouldn't.
I
That
just
I
don't
don't think that
think
should be a
attraction.
kink. Yeah, that's.
Like at my age, and I'm not.
Well, I don't
old,
know.
you
They didn't really like answer, and I just
If you don't say flat out no, you know the answer.
Exactly.
You
It's
know.
been answered for
It's
you.
yes. What's understood and gotta be explained. Use your nigga words. What's understood and gotta be explained. That's crazy.
I don't know. I just didn't ask a lot of questions after that.
Blocked. I don't. Do you
did.
really want those answers?
I don't talk to this person anymore. After that,
Is this junior shit?
really just snitching unprovoked?
No one knows what that means, but you do.
I do.
Okay, then was it
No, it was somebody else.
somebody else? Dang, girl, where you meeting these niggas? Where you meeting these niggas?
Right. I think it was somebody that I've met off that freaky Facebook. Or I guess
Oh,
Fed
with
Life.
that, that tracks.
I mean, it does, but I didn't realize that's who it was because people text me, "Hey," and then just start conversations. And I have since, like, you know, when you delete somebody's thread because you don't hit them up, and I was like, now I gotta ask investigative questions to figure out who this is.
This
Remember
actually
that guy
comes full
that,
circle, actually, because we have a lot of men in marriage who feel the need to go out of their marriage in order to satisfy their kinks because they don't feel comfortable admitting it to their
Well, I
partner.
think that the biggest issue to me is men get with women they feel like they should be with instead of women
woman
they
they
like
want.
or women that they like are meeting their needs.
Right.
Like, oh, she's a good girl. Society says I should get with her. But I really like fucking on stripper nasty bitches. But I'm gonna date the church girl because that's what I was told to do.
Yeah, I think men are in societal shackles like women are. Not the same ones, but they are in societal, definitely shackles.
But we're completely 12 minutes in and we really haven't even scratched the surface of what we're supposed to talk about.
We have not.
All right, so
You gonna start with your text, with your shit that came through your phone?
All right, so we're talking about open relationships. All right, so probably like a month or two ago, I was like, you know what? This bitch said that she didn't want to be outside. I don't want to be by myself. So let me just re-download some apps. See
She
what
be
happens.
downloading apps because she bored.
I was like, I do.
Toxic.
Is it toxic? All right, so
Yes. It's okay. We all have a toxic trait.
all right. So we were supposed to like hang out or something. And he was like, can I be upfront and honest with you? And I was like, well, yeah, please. And then I'm going to directly quote this message. So here it is. So I'm in an open relationship. I have a wife and a kid that I love dearly. We aren't in the open relationship because we are unhappy or anything. Just want to explore and enjoy our young years by meeting other people. However, I'm really digging your vibe, and I like to keep talking to you and getting to know you.
There
Maybe
goes
we
that
go out-
word.
Yeah, I know, right? Go out somewhere. I know this is a bunch of throwing at you. And so I remember as soon as I got that, I immediately screenshotted and sent it to Chanel because I was like, bitch, what the fuck? After that, I did go back and look at his profile, and I think he did have it on there. So that was a mistake on my part, swiping right on that. What I do appreciate, though, is he was very clear with
Yeah.
that.
It's one of the first messages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's another situation to where somebody had made this long drawn out explaining the situation that they weren't in a relationship with somebody. They were, like, the money's tight, blah, blah, blah. And then the next time we hung out, they were like, yeah, my girl. And I was like,
Nigga, yo, girl.
what you mean by my girl? And then, you know what they did? They're like, yeah, my girl. Like, they didn't correct.
He forgot he had told you one story.
Yeah.
This is why you gotta stop lying.
I feel that. But, all right, open
You
relationship.
got to lie, for Craig.
So, Chanel, Black, I'm going to open the floor.
Well, since yours is going to lead into a story, Black, I'm going to say I can't do it. Now, the reasons why I can't do it is I'm a real selfish hoe. Like, honestly, like, in a relationship, I'm actually very selfish. I don't even want to split. I don't want to split no types of attention. So I don't, and honestly, I don't think I'm mature for it. Not like the communication-wise, but I just don't think I'm mature enough to know that the person that I'm sleeping with, the person that, like I say, I don't take dating lightly at all. Meaning that I want, like, it's me and you. It's just me and you. I'm honest with myself enough to know I can't do it any other way. But I've also never tried it. So maybe listening to this conversation, who knows? Probably not, but who knows?
I feel like I maybe could do it. Maybe.
You don't like niggas.
That's why I feel like I could do it. I think that'd be like, I don't know. I think I have the issue with commitment and stability. So I know that I shouldn't get into a relationship, especially open relationship with that. But I think in my ideal situation at this point in my life, it's kind of like a Nola Darling. Like I got like 3 niggas, and we put them on rotation, and it's like, you know, everybody is honest and knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like for you to answer the question: what is the difference between a situationship and an open relationship?
Communication, clear lines. A situationship is we're in a gray area. Like that's like I be fucking on him. We text, we link. Open relationship, we're dating, but okay. Also,
but isn't that dating?
No, let me finish. So open relationships could mean different things for different people. I'm gonna plug in the sexologist / intimacy expert that I always plug in. Her name is Shan Boudran.
I finally followed her on YouTube.
Yeah, so she was in one before, and she made a lot of content about that. So, open relationships is definitely different between like each couple. So it's kind of like what do you define as open? And so I understand that. However, the general understanding is that we are in a relationship, we are in a partnership, and we are allowed to date other people, or maybe we're allowed to sleep with other people. But the thing that is clear is that I'm telling you everything. There's no secrets.
Right.
So it's not like So
it's not cheating.
It's not, because like you know what's happening.
Cheating is sneaky behind someone's back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, this nigga invited me for coffee. I'ma go. You're like, okay, cool. I might go out to dinner with somebody else, or I went on a date with this person. Like I said, it's really how you define it. But we've got somebody who's experienced.
Motherfucking expert.
I don't know about an expert. I'll let you decide if you're an expert, but we would love to hear your open relationship experience. I do have one question, though, before we get into it. How did you get into it? Like, what started it?
So, I feel like, and I shouldn't say the general trend, but our relationship didn't start open.
Oh, this is really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like most don't, because like in terms of like having an open relationship, kind of like that concept we described, like you have to be very comfortable. You have to be trusting your partner in order to go to the next step, unless it's like at the offset, which again, open relationship is different for others. But for me, like I have to be very comfortable, and I have to trust my partner enough to know that this is going to happen and I'm not going to be bothered by it, because a lot of people say they want open relationships, but like they don't realize like they're unconsciously like insecure until like when
like
things
Chanel
start
said,
to
I
happen.
think people are very selfish with other people relationship. We've talked about how people are very entitled to other people's time and stuff. So I think people say that they want that, but the biggest thing that I hate that when I see, and I'll let you continue, is people think like, oh, y'all should just be in an open relationship because the current monogamous
situation
it's not a fix.
Yeah, that's the worst
I was like, that
reason
is
to get into an open relationship.
terrible.
You
like,
can't keep it in your pants, neither can I. Let's just be open. I don't think that's not
like you can't. You're not even satisfying one person. You talking about add another person?
It's not even about satisfaction. If you're unhappy in that specific relationship, having it open is just going to lead to more unhappiness. It's not. It's like it's the same logic as those individuals who are like, oh yeah, no, we're not working out, but you know what's going to help us? A baby. No, it's not.
Ooh, it is not.
It is not.
Snatching edges.
It's not. and that putting yourself in that situation is going to just be hoeing yourself, because you know at the bottom of your heart you really don't want to be in a relationship, and you're really only doing this to satisfy your partner or to stay in a relationship with an individual, maybe due to optics. I don't know. Family members, you already build a network. They know that's your nigga. They know that's your girl, and you guys just want to keep that pushing. But I personally think that's the worst reason to get into an open relationship, and I don't like that people associate that like, oh well, your spouse is a chronic cheater. You guys should just be in an open relationship, because you can cheat in an open relationship as well. Like that's a thing. It's all about communication.
And then the lines. I know that you can cheat in an open relationship. It's like whatever rules that you have. Like let's say you could date other people, but you're out here. If I said liking bitches pictures on Instagram, it's an issue. That's still an issue. It's just you got to be very clear with your understanding. But yeah, that's good. Okay, so how did you get into one?
Honestly, again, I feel like we really liked each other. We really enjoyed each other. We worked with each other.
Also, really quickly, how old were you?
I was 25.
Okay. It's about that time, huh?
Yeah, might as well try it.
Shut up.
Yeah. I feel
It's a
like
sign.
as you get older, you're just more willing to do you're willing to do more. And so we decided like, hey, you know, this would be nice. And so our optics was actually like, she wanted to know that I would be, you know, engaging in either dating or intercourse with
So
others.
she propositioned the open relationship to you, or you brought it up to her?
I think it came up in a conversation, maybe through the like Twitter or something.
Ooh, okay, this is
And
interesting.
we kind of joked around about it, but then like we kind of revisited maybe like a month later. And so her thing was like, she would again want to be aware of like the fact that I'm going on a date or the fact that I'm having sex with someone. She just wouldn't want the details on that, you know?
I wouldn't either.
Where me, I'm like, nah, give me all the tea. Wait, this nigga made you
Why do you want to
pay?
know?
I just think like, to me,
It's funny. Men want to know. Like,
it's not
just,
even that, to be honest. It was just like, I found it interesting. Like it really didn't bother me, the fact. But like, so a situation that essentially arose is that like, and which also led to the demise, was basically like a lot of disappointment. And it's not even like, you know, it's just disappointment with the experimentation of others. Like they were really content like, I thought I wanted this or I thought I wanted to do this, but it's really not given. And what I want, you have. So I don't really want to do this anymore. And I was just like, that's fair and that's okay. I would rather do that as well, because if I'm going to lie, like, in terms of the people I was smashing, they wasn't touching her, you know? And in terms of the dates, it was just small talk, you know?
Yeah, because the dating pool is peeing it either way.
It may be the thrill of new pussy, but besides that,
Niggas love new pussy.
Yeah.
Girl, but you know it ain't like new dick.
I know. I won't lie.
exactly.
You ain't nothing. And you know what's funny is because we say this all the time. The second time, you be like, dang, was it just good or was it just new?
I feel like that is the reason why I've made some of the decisions I've made. Because you be like, new dick is nice.
It's just that mystery we don't know yet. Like, it could be.
And then I think people put on their best performance sometimes.
Hell yeah. The first time you put a whole lot of best performance into someone.
But you
This
gotta
is
learn
bad
to
for
not
guys,
just.
though. I think there's just so much performance anxiety that goes with it. I know guys.
Have you ever had that where somebody couldn't perform?
I've had that.
Where you've had.
I was wanting to smash this chick for the longest, and I remember I went over to her house one day, and she was just like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Bet." And my guy would not get up. And I was like, "Yo."
Okay, so can you dispel the myth? Is it all? It's because I've heard it's not always like the woman.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it was me. I was just very nervous. I was like,
But I'm saying I think that's the insecurity women have. It's like, dang, he can't get up. Like it must be me.
Because the
So,
second time around, we got around. It wasn't.
I just want to let women out there just know, because I think that's an insecurity that I had when I was in college.
That it was you?
Yeah.
I was like, this nigga just wasted my time. And then he was like, well, you know, well, it happened. And I was like, how often? Because he was also older. But that's another topic.
His
for another.
AARP car, huh?
No, but I think this is when I was a freshman. So I'm like wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
Somebody's frat house that I just came into and then couldn't get it together. And I was like, well, you about to graduate, so I just try again another semester or two. Because you can't double dip in the same house.
Oh no, you can't.
That's messy.
You can't. Niggas don't have no problem with it, but you can't.
I mean, they say they don't, but they really do. But
I mean, okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, so what was though? That was the demise. Like she was. So wait. So at some point you started non-open. You got open. Did you all go back to non-open? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then what happened from there?
We just lived life.
How long?
Maybe another year and a half.
So you all spent more time in a non-open relationship than you did in an open relationship.
Yeah. I feel like again, it's really just a being comfortable in your relationship thing. Because like once we decided to like go back to being in a closed relationship, there was no remember that one time it was just that
I do think
happened,
that
and then we left it there.
Some
Okay.
mature ass people.
Yeah, that's
I
really
be
mature.
pulling up March
Receipts,
2020.
I know.
I
Well,
do.
listen,
You pulling up
On March
receipts.
23rd at 9 p.m., you told me you was going to El Reyes
That's
with
what
this hoe.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I want to go to El Reyes too at 9 p.m. And look at you. You got to study now.
So were there any I gotta cut my hose off moments? Or was it easy to do?
It was, I wouldn't say it was like, I have to cut my hose off. It was just like, damn. It wasn't just like, it was just okay, damn, well, now I just got to tell these girls that, you know, we can't fuck or date anymore.
So here's the real question. Did they know up front? Did you tell them up front? Or did you present yourself as someone who was single?
Depends.
Okay.
Okay.
On.
Please.
It depends on whether I just wanted to smash or whether I wanted to date.
Let's break down both.
Okay. All right.
Both. If it was just a smash thing, I just don't think they would need to know that. Like, it happens, cool.
I kind of respect
One
that.
and
Like, do you feel like if you're just smashing somebody, you know, like the
'cause I feel
intricacies
like-
of their relationship?
I feel like
Because
dating
ideally
is
you
more
would say
serious.
yes, but like
Yeah.
you're not gonna tell them all of the breakdown of your history, of your relationships.
You wouldn't. And so
I'd be
don't think
asking
it's
for
necessary
backstory.
if you're just, like,
So
fucking
you, but
someone.
you give backstories.
No, I just let niggas talk.
So
I don't know. I have to think about it. What
how
I
about,
want to
like,
know.
being like,
So okay, so the thing is the
Typically,
way.
pushback is the choice of the woman. Is it because I didn't give her the choice to decide?
Yes,
whether-
yes. I think that's what it is.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's
I like
a
the
part of it.
option to opt into things.
Yeah,
and when
I
I feel
agree.
like I don't have it and then I find out later that I didn't have it, it's just like, why? It feels like you're trying to hide something. If the whole point of your open relationship is that you don't hide anything, like you live your life like that.
But the person who does
Right.
out of it is just.
I
But-
agree with you, Alex, but I also see what he's saying. If it's just somebody you're
If you're just smashing, they don't need to know all that.
Yeah, I was saying you're just more than likely not gonna give them all that information
that
anyway.
that person knows they're not gonna date you. Like, and that's why I say I do tell the people that I'm dating. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know.
But
this
I
is
do
really
agree that
jokey
you
jokes to me.
should-
Like, I'm not trying to like find another girl.
Okay.
An amazing girl. that I
He
love.
said
Like,
he's
it's-
not like what's his name, the guy on social media, brother.
Yeah,
right?
so we'll get into that. So when you're smashing people, just in general, like as a guy, like do you say up front, this is just sex? Because I feel like that's something that men usually don't do. And that's why there's so much pushback about, oh, like I want the option. Because the way niggas lie is just like, come on, like you didn't have to do that.
You can ask anyone who knows me. One thing I'm big on is communication. And if I just want someone, I'm just going to tell them. Because more likely than not, and guys, listen, that shit works more than you think it will. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
more willing to do that than you think.
Well,
like,
if they
Especially if you've said it up front. Like then you can manage someone else's expectations.
well, if there are listeners, then they know you should always be upfront because there's some women that just want to fuck.
yeah.
All right, Chanel, I have a question for you. Have you ever told somebody up front that this is just sex?
Yes. I've said, hey, if we fuck today, I'm not going to call you tomorrow.
What did they say to that?
Continue to fuck.
And then what happened?
We didn't talk.
Oh, I love that for you.
That's great. You love that.
It's very simple because I know that if I fuck someone and if I skip some steps, I really am not interested in going back and retracing those steps. Like if we fuck within like a few days or maybe like the first time we meet up, I now associate you with that. And it could be toxic, but like that's just, I don't know enough about you to want to hang out with you for any other reason.
She said, pull out with that dick open. Leave that dick open when you open the door.
I be walking in my house like, you seen that TikTok, this is a stupid house. Ain't never no dick here.
Hey, what I'm hearing is that you need to really get her on the pillow talk.
Basically,
She is a super pillow talk person.
I am. I'm a sucker for pillow talk, but if we don't have that, and I know whether I want to pillow talk with you.
I was like, I'm not a big pillow talk person.
I know, but you know, like if someone is super boring, and you know, some of these niggas out here, they ain't got no personality.
Just big old meat
Tragic.
though.
She ain't got no personality, and it'd be a double negative when it's not like that. And then, damn, like you really down bad.
Honestly, I'm just on my phone mad. I'm like, all right, now I gotta wait like
Searching
4 or
for
5
other
days.
options. That'd be the worst thing. If you go over someone's house, you're like, dang, who else can I call? Who else?
Like, all right, when I leave, what's gonna happen? Nah, I feel you. I feel you on that.
Yeah. Yep. So,
But
yeah. And I think women should do that too. If you know that you just want to smash someone and that's it, you should also say that. Everyone should say that.
People have to be honest with themselves. Like, if you say, I just want to smash, mean it. Like, don't be like, oh, I just want to smash. And then, like, now, you know, you're like, oh, well, I want
I
to
think
smash,
people
but I also want a relationship.
a lot of times say what they feel like the other person wants to hear.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
I agree.
And like, that I think is the biggest issue. It's like, just be honest. Another thing though is people think that just because you told the truth that you should accept that.
That's
And then be
also
like,
the
okay.
facts.
Like, all right, like if a nigga's like, well, yeah, I was texting somebody, but I told you the truth.
No.
And it's like, my nigga, you broke, like we cheated or you did something wrong.
Like, thanks for being a decent human being.
However,
telling the truth.
That does not negate my feelings or make them less valid. I don't know. People be gaslighting.
They do. And
AF.
It's just weird, especially this generation. It's just weird.
I don't think it's just this generation.
We have more access than we've ever had. If I
Yeah.
can go on any app and get a date within 6 hours, what do I need to stick around for? Like,
Girl, what you mean 6? You cute. That'd probably take like what, 2
I'm
hours?
telling you, like we have way too many options now, and I think that's why the relationship stages or dating is
Well, the
as
thing
trash
is,
as it is.
really,
I do that altogether, to be honest, because back in the
Right.
days, you had the people you met in school, the people you knew from the church, and then the people in your community. But words travels fast. Like if you're a the person, people are gonna realize that sooner than later.
Gotta change towns.
Now you can just be like, delete my profile, creates a new one, fresh start, and we back at it again.
I think that's true, but I think that, quoting her again, we're in an intimacy famine in the sense of like, what I would describe it as more like a microwave community where like it's very much
Instant gratification.
instant gratification, hooking up very quickly, and they'd be like, oh, you're a decent person. I kind of want to get to know you. I had that happen to me. Somebody that I was like, I just don't feel like being home. And so like they assumed something about me, and then they got to talking. I'm like, wow, like she's not dumb or
I don't want to
stupid.
smash now.
Yeah, literally, that's exactly what happened. Yeah. They were like, "Wow, you like you have thoughts and opinions on life and politics, and you articulate yourself." And it was like, "But I do, so like, leave me alone."
Wow.
That person still hasn't, but All right, so let's move on.
Do you want to talk about the brother guy now?
Well, he's more into. I think that there's a difference between, I guess, polygamy versus open relationships.
Okay, is there? Do you think?
No.
Okay.
Under the umbrella.
I mean, it's under the umbrella,
Of
but
poly, people just go by. I'm poly now.
but that's different.
Is it? I thought it was just short for polygamous.
No, polyamorous is what poly's short for.
So
Polygamy
what is?
is more of a religion.
Oh,
Yes.
so there's
polyamorous is more like
polygamy, polyamorous, open relationship.
those all could be different things. Polyamory is I like personalities, right? Or am I thinking that wrong? Let me look this up. Or I think it may date more than one person. But
Polyamory is you date more than one person at a time.
I'm
Like you all could have like a throuple, and like that's your relationship. So it's not like open where I may choose this person, you may choose that person, we may not choose them ever again. Polyamorous is like, oh, I have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and we all date each other, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so yeah, polygamy is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or more than one husband at the time. So this is more like a
Marriage.
This is more like religion. Like you see that a lot in the Mormon community.
Right.
And stuff like that. So that is different than like an open relationship or even an open marriage. Mm-hmm. Polyamory is like I got 3 wives.
Right. Okay.
And so polyamorous is I got 2 boyfriends.
Right.
So
Interesting. So I've been seeing, so with that particular guy, brother, and we'll go into it a little bit, he was saying, or this is something I hear often, like black people weren't meant to be monogamous. And that's like a thing that people say. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, what I will say is what they're going off of is back in the day, like in Africa, like these kings had multiple wives. Baby, they could afford them. You can't like...
Yeah.
You really don't have the resources or exactly. It's not like they were just out here just, oh yeah, you get a husband, you can be this, you can be that. They afforded their lifestyle. They had kids, like they were there, they supported.
shout out to King Musa trading
Yeah.
for gold.
So it's just
Not gonna lie, I am one of those people who don't believe like humans at their core were meant to be monogamous.
I low key agree.
I feel like monogamy arose as a form of protection of our securities, and that's how we have marriage.
Well, when you think of it
in
like
the
this, when
US.
a lot of the reason why men were hunters and gatherers, or not necessarily, a lot of men were hunters and women were gatherers, is in a community, let's say 5 men go out to hunt, only 3 come back, the community can still thrive. Let's say 5 women go out to hunt, and only 2 or 3 come back. That's a big issue. So I think that it's been like a misunderstanding of like who's foundation of the community, but like
who's the most important?
essentially.
Just survival wise.
But I kind of agree that
I believe monogamy is a choice. I will give you monogamy is definitely a choice. You choose whether you can be monogamous. But I will also say this: the reason why I get upset, like if a nigga was cheating on me, because I don't turn down Freaky Fred, I don't turn down Sugar Daddy Sam. That's just the first one that came to my mind. But like I don't turn down like these people. But like one bitch show you some attention, and like y'all are just easy.
I do think that
These are just like you're so easy.
The issue is men act like it's weird how we infantize. That's not the word, but like treat men like babies in the sense where like they're just hormones. They're just raging hormones.
Boys will be boys.
That they can't control themselves, right?
Think about society. Like we live in a society where men are the pursuers and women typically aren't the pursuers. So if you have a woman willing to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pursue that guy is gonna be like,
I don't always think it's
They
a
don't like
woman
that.
pursuing a man though when it comes to cheating. Usually I feel like if you're a
wants
man
to
who
have his cake and eat it too.
yeah, usually if you're a man and you're just like, look, monogamy just ain't my thing, but I don't want to tell my girl that, you could go to a club any given Saturday night and just present yourself as single. And that's just, it is what it is. And you just want that. Meanwhile, your girl is turning down like 4 different guys in her DMs. Come on now.
Her
Where's the
work
loyalty?
husband,
Yeah.
the one person on Instagram that likes all her pics and said heart
The
emojis.
fan club, you know, she's turning out all that for you.
dedicated guy telling her good morning queen.
Yes.
Just hoping, just hoping and praying. It's just, but yes, we do baby men and we hold women to this super high moral standard.
Did you have that while you were in a relationship or somebody like waiting for you to break up? Or
I don't
a
think
fan?
so, but most men like that, they won't tell you that they're waiting. They'll just wait.
I had more than one person ask me if I was still dating the person I was dating at the time.
Nah.
I was like,
Well, were you still in contact with those people? When I'm in a relationship, I block everyone else's number. Anyone else I used to talk to, I'm blocking them. If I think there's a chance that they may talk to me, I'm blocking them. So I'm not trying to even leave room for that. At my core, I'm also weak. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm also weak. And because I know this, like I try to block off anything that would ever, because I have been somewhere out and I forgot I was in a relationship for a second and someone slid in my DMs and I entertained it. And the look on my boyfriend at the time's face, like when he saw it just like casually, I couldn't explain myself and I was just like, damn, if he did the same thing to me, like I would have lost my shit. Mm-hmm. So I now try to be better. I'm weak at the core. I have to take extra measures. So no, I've never had that. Maybe like an ex, try to slide back, just on a hope that I hope you're not single, or I hope you're single, but no, not when I was in a relationship. No.
what about you?
Yeah, I mean,
You're best friends with your exes, right?
yeah. I wouldn't say
That's
I don't like when people
interesting.
start off by saying I'm besties with my ex. We're just very cordial. Like I believe, like, and this again personal belief. I just feel like once you get into like the adult relationships, like the individuals you were invested with, the individuals you got into a relationship with, you guys clicked for a reason. And maybe you guys don't work out in a relationship, but you guys have an amazing friendship. And I'm of the ilk where like if I like break up with someone, I'm like I know like oh yeah no like because my personal thing is I don't do
Double
the
dip.
whole, yeah, I don't do the whole on again, off again relationship. It's either we're on or we're off.
I feel
Pick
that.
one, please, because
Feel that.
I'm not.
Well, I think that we have this notion that if a relationship ends, it's kind of like a failure. Mm-hmm. When that's not
It's
necessarily
not. It's
true.
just information.
It's not even it's just experiences, and I feel like
Yeah.
we didn't put such a like. I know a lot of people like either we're gonna break up or we're gonna get married. Like if it wasn't so
Cut and
final,
dry.
I think that you would grow. Like okay, me and this person didn't like last, but I learned so much from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I went. This is the first time I went out the country. I have so many fond memories, and look at it more in a.
And that's okay.
Maybe you do want to continue traveling with that individual, but as a friend, like maybe you like the feelings you had with them, but it's gonna be as a friend. Like I have like one of my exes, funniest girl I know, still the funniest girls that I know. When I need a laugh, bro, I know I could easily go on her Instagram and she's gonna be
So,
doing
okay.
something that's gonna make me like, or I can call her and like we'll have a conversation. I'll just be laughing because like I just haven't met anyone that's more funny than she is as a woman, and to have to cut that off just
Yeah.
because we didn't work together dating, like like you're goofy. I wouldn't date you, but like I'm not gonna. You are still goofy.
I said that last week on the podcast. Me and Black were on, and we do miss out on a lot of good humans thinking either you have to date them, fuck them, or that's it. And I'm talking all this shit, but I definitely talk to one of my exes like often enough. So I understand. But does that change for you when you get into a relationship? Like, if I know that if I got into a relationship with someone else, I would definitely block him. Like, it's no questions asked.
I feel like that's...
But that's personal decision. Because like I said, I'm weak at the core.
I would say, like, for me, I wouldn't block them. But also, I know I wouldn't do anything that would impact our relationship enough for me to do it. And I know the type of individuals they are. They wouldn't try to do that as well.
Right. I feel
But that comes with, like, just, you know, realizing that, hey, we don't work as boyfriend, girlfriend. But you're an amazing individual. I like our conversations.
Right.
I like going out with you. And we're just going to be friends. And that's okay.
So you don't fuck your exes?
No.
Do you fuck your exes?
Sometimes. So this is why I said, like, I actually do need to block you. Because there's a space in between.
Nothing like new day.
There's a space in between. Look, if I just have a problem with opening up Pandora's box. Like, if I'm fucking, like, we're going to fuck often. So if I'm going to fuck someone new, we're going to do... we're going to do this pretty often, unless you're just, you know, smashable. And that's it. Like, I don't see nothing else but smashable. So, yeah, from time to time, you know, come through. You know, you pay for everything. Smash.
And that's probably why you feel obligated
Yeah.
to block them.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone doing like the best friend challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I sent it to my best friend because I was like, I know if this were to ever happen, I would just be like, girl, are you stupid?
What is it? I'm confused.
So best friend challenge is essentially a guy trying to prove a point that men and women can't be best friends. So they have the woman call the guy best friend, and the woman is essentially saying, hey, let's smash, and the guy will respond, yay, nay, you know? And so for a majority of them, not gonna lie, the guy's been like, oh yeah, no, your guy was trash, yeah, let's smash, and it's just like automatic block. But for like 2 or 3 of them, which I feel like I would be in the minority, it's just like, girl, you stupid, like.
I threw it at one of my friends as a joke. I remember we did this challenge where we were like, I'm trying to come quicker than Amazon Prime. It's this line. I sent it to one of my best guy friends, and he was like, I don't think we should do this because, like, we're actually friends. Like, I feel like, okay, damn, like, you actually.
I like white women.
Whoa, why do you go there?
His baby mama is white. And he works in a way. Like, I could see why she would say that. But it's not like he does. He likes black girls. It's just, I can he was like.
Is he like a Carlton ass nigga type guy?
You think so?
Nose goes. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I think he's someone who's just like, yeah, I'm a black man, but
I don't know.
That's the extent.
He's interesting. This is gonna be problematic, but I think when people did he go away to school?
Let's choose chaos.
No.
I think when they start the workforce, that's a different.
Yeah, it is. I understand.
I think that's the best.
But no,
way
so he went to community, and then he started like for maybe like a year, and he was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
Community.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not trying to be
terrible.
bougie. We're not at all.
And then
I think when people immediately start in like the workforce and the job that he does, interestingly enough, it's predominantly around like he grew up in a PG County, a whole bunch of black people.
Yeah.
He now works
in like Loudoun County, a whole bunch of white people. So.
And like you're coming of age when you're not like. I don't think he was ever really in like the party scene or like college stuff. So I think that really shapes you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oddly enough, so that thing where you say you're trying to taste the rainbow, he told me that his dad once told him that he should, like, before you settle down, son, you should taste the rainbow. Not in those exact words, but he said that, and he thought about it, and he actually took it to heart. But oddly enough, he says like he doesn't necessarily really like white girls. He had a few bad experiences, but where he was, you smash where you spend most of your time. He was spending most of his time in Loudoun County, so
they got that. I'm
just
just scared of white girls. just their history and like what they can do to black men. I'm sorry, I would not.
Yeah,
and it's crazy how black men would just so anti-black that they would be running through the door.
Did y'all see that wedding photo of the black guy and the white girl?
You mean the engagement photo?
Whatever.
Of and they're
the slave,
a slave, and like
he's free now.
Our love transcends.
Because some black people be doing some stupid shit.
I've seen that too.
Okay, so hear me out. What makes somebody black? Is it identifying as black? Is it looking as black? Like, how would you
I would say
differentiate that?
in order to identify as someone is black based on how society perceives them to be. And the reason I say that is because we have a lot of mixed kids
Who are passing.
who are passing. Let's take a celebrity. Logic is mixed. He
Is he?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
He talks about
And
it all
he's
the
from
time in his
around
rap.
here.
Literally, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm white, I'm black. But because he looks white and can, pass as white, and
So is
society will treat
Hazley.
him as white,
That's another
I feel
performer.
like they are white.
She
Yeah, like you are.
looks pretty white.
You can show me your whole family tree, and if you look white, you white.
Because I feel like there's certain people who maybe will culturally,
I have always thought he was white.
culturally identify as black and stuff. It's
I feel
interesting.
like you could definitely adopt a culture, like even like if you're like a Hispanic kid who grew up around a lot of black kids, like you'll get the mannerisms, you get that, but you wouldn't say you are black.
They might.
You could also be a biracial kid not knowing. If you grew up around all white people, not knowing that you were black until someone else said it to you.
Yeah.
That's
I
the thing
saw
I've
a
seen on
thing-
different TV
I
shows.
saw a documentary about that, and basically what happened was her mom had an affair, but like they didn't really talk about it. So like, back like way back when there was like a Moor in our family, and the gene just skipped like 4 generations.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was really like
Did they
her.
treat her like she was like white or black? Because my thing with like
They
situations
kind of
like that is that like they
from what I understood, for the most part, she was treated okay, and it wasn't until she applied to go to maybe Howard, and she didn't say what race, whatever college she applied to, she didn't click the box, and they clicked it for her, and they picked black. But she had a classmate who was like mixed like her, or like one black kid, and he was like, "My guy, you and I are one and the same. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud." But she didn't really know. I just think that maybe we should have an episode about being black. Call it Blackish.
are we gonna add
I like
reparations in there, or do you think that'll shake up the table too much?
Well, the issue with reparations
Oh, we like to shake a table.
is, like I said, there's no defining like definition of being black, and so who are we taking the money from? Ideally, the government, right? But there are people who look white, right? But if you break down their genealogy, and somebody who looks black, there's a lot of the similarities. So is it the skin color? Is it culturally what you identify as? It's unfortunately the way that America is in a melting pot. It's really hard to
Yeah, some people are looking at him like, I really don't know.
pinpoint where you fall on that spectrum. Like, I know a lot of people years ago, one of the people from the KKK, they had a lot of issues with members because a lot of people would pass, they move up white, the bloodline would continue, and then you find out later on you came from, like, you were black. So,
Well, race is just so binary.
well, there is a difference between
but
race and
it's,
ethnicity,
yes,
too.
you're right. But it's made to be so binary when it's actually not, because it's a
Yes.
social construct. Like the fact that being a darker skinned person means that you have all these other qualities, it's only because someone way back said that. And
Which
now
is
that's just
really
how it breaks
interesting.
down. At somebody's word.
Yeah, no, I
Somebody's
agree.
word or a group of people's words
But
said that this is what it is.
When you really, like, this is something that's kind of kept me up at night, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
think
what
peace
is-
moments.
But for real, like, what is black? Like, who is actually black? I identify as black, and if you look at me, you would identify me as black. But am I black because of, like, the color of my skin, my complexion, or is it my experiences? What
Have you ever
I
been
would say it's
confused for something
experiences more
different?
than anything.
what I think that I've gotten is, and you might have experienced this, when you're, like, seemingly maybe, like, attractive or
Yeah.
have certain features.
What are you mixed with?
They don't associate you being pretty. They associate, well, you would mix with something else. Like, what is it? Is it
Yeah.
Asian? Is it Cherokee? Or is it? There has to be, like, you can't just be pretty and black.
You know what I've also
But we're gonna
realized?
table this.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
But before you finish,
I was
this is
gonna say-
good.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, like, they also do that with accomplishments too. Like,
Yeah.
once you start to achieve,
If you're smart,
yeah, they won't mention like
They'll be
your
like-
black side. They'll be like, oh yeah, no, she's Asian.
Well,
I mean,
think
she's
about-
Asian and Haitian actually, so respect. You know?
yeah, no, for real. Especially, and then or like you're where are you from, Africa or something like that, and it's like, I don't know. Let's take myself taking the ships. I didn't get the Uber receipt.
That's such a funny response to white people because you could tell like they're shook. They just don't know what to say
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, well, I had a friend. She went to University of South Florida and for undergrad, and she was like, she was a part of this Black Student Union down there, and she was like, one of her initiatives was trying to get rid of this genealogy assignment that they had to do as freshmen, because it's like, yeah, maybe you, Becky and Todd, can trace back 4 generations, but I can't. So when I do this activity in new student orientation, it doesn't make me feel like I belong here.
Yeah. And then what's also interesting is like the whole idea of like white, like you're an immigrant, and it's crazy how much you hate other immigrants, even though you weren't like,
You ain't from here.
you're not.
You didn't even go here.
Like you're literally not from here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you were a castaway, honestly. Like,
Castaways.
like we technically were, because the people who came to America weren't rich in Britain. Like they were exiled.
That's why they
essentially.
came here.
Exactly. So like when you really think
A bunch of broke boys came here and they just started their own shit.
yeah, and then it's crazy,
Yeah.
the intricacies. But yeah,
Well,
so
so-
obviously we're gonna have to talk about
Yeah.
our Blackish episode, but we're gonna get back to the open.
Let's
So
get
let's
to it.
leave that door open. All right.
Oh, well, I did want to ask you. So, there are open apps. Have you ever been on one? Or do you know anyone who has?
I personally don't like going through the dating apps only because like I don't want my relationship to be fetishized. So there are a lot of people who specifically
Yeah.
like, try to date people who are in an open relationship, and to me that's just I don't want that.
I feel that.
So I think it's better if it's more organic.
Yeah. I got
But
you.
That's just my preference.
No, I definitely feel that. My question is always like, where's the line between fetishism and appreciation?
We've talked about this too.
Yeah, and I want to get someone else's opinion on it, because I'll be seeing like men on TikTok or men on Instagram that be like, oh, I love like BBWs, or like I love plus size women, like skinny women just don't do it for me, like all these other things. And then there'll be half the comments saying like I appreciate that, like you saying it out loud, because for a long time like bigger girls just haven't been claimed out loud, which is something that they've actually wanted. And then there's another half of the comments that are like, why are you fetishizing us? Like you don't get a clap for this. And it's just like, so what do you want? Do you want to be a secret, or?
The line is that like if the only reason that you are interested in this is because of arousal, then that's fetishization.
So if it's
Whereas-
sexual.
Yeah, like
Okay.
If it's only because like your dick gets harder, your pussy gets wet, like
Got it. Okay.
got it. But like if it's genuinely like, oh wow, like I've had individuals who like didn't do this, and I really appreciate the fact that you were speaking out, because I know, in my life I had, a cousin who didn't feel comfortable saying this, and I know you can be like the role model to the next generation that she's
Right.
never had. That would be like appreciation of the fact. But if it's just like, oh yeah, like, no,
Why does that sound like Pete Davidson?
It did.
I think that what the issue, to me, there's like a shallowness to like fetishism than it is like actual
I've
appreciation.
seen that too.
Where it's
Yeah.
like the people will say certain things like, oh, I love this, and then you'll look at their history and it's like
doesn't align.
that doesn't make sense, or
Right.
the way that you describe it, because I think like we're in a political correctness quote unquote era to where people will say things that to appease the masses, and that's not something they really mean. Like when people say, oh, I love dark skin women, right? Most of their compliments are always like, oh, her skin, oh, the beautiful, like it's not like she's just pretty. Like when they talk about,
Chocolate.
yeah, like, ooh, this mocha latte goddess. And all the pictures are normally of the person who the skin will be clear, or like they'll be oiled up. And it's, to me, it comes off very weird that the only compliments you get is because of your actual skin color. It's not of any other thing.
Okay, so when that is the only single focus, when that is the only reason why you talk to this person, okay, I definitely get that. So there are plus size women who be like, okay, y'all sent me this, is it cap or is it fat? Something like that. Like they do this game where they'll be like, okay, this man said this, Maury says he don't follow no plus size girls, his last 4 girlfriends were sticks, it's a lie. And that's kind of like how they determine like this is a fetish or this is something he just said.
I also don't agree with that method as well.
Oh, it's just something they put out there. I feel it.
I know the fat or cap woman on TikTok that you're talking about now. Because my thing is like, I appreciate the BBWs as well, and
Doesn't mean you have to date them.
It doesn't mean that I'm not their core audience. Maybe I like them, and I appreciate them, but maybe I enjoy their thoughts on Twitter. I don't want to see their video content. And so why would I follow them on TikTok? But if you go on my Twitter, you can see it. So I just feel like that's not a good.
It was more of like a looking at Instagram, because Instagram is usually pictures, like posting. It wasn't so much about videos, but like I see what you're saying. And just because you agree with this or you like them doesn't mean that you necessarily have to date them.
And you could change. Like I could like you as a person. Like I would say I'm not into women, but I like you and I date you. I think that could also be true. Like, hey, I may have dated only such and such in the past, but this is a person that I genuinely like. I like this person.
Right.
It's a person you thought you didn't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't believe in that though. But.
What?
She don't like people. This is really just what it comes down to.
Well,
She don't like people.
Because I've had this conversation with like my mom and stuff, and with like go back to types and all that stuff. When I have deviated from what I said
the script.
that shit don't work out. And then I'm like, so now I'm mad because I've now been played by a regular short nick. Like, not to say it'd be better if you met certain criteria, but
I guess my regard was just saying it as like, I feel like you always have like the best relationships when you really aren't looking for one.
I agree.
I agree to that.
Yeah.
But I think that you've got to be
ready
in the best, like, and open for that. And because the relationship is work.
So I have a question for you. And if you've answered this, we can skip. But do you believe in meeting the right person at the wrong time?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Why?
I feel like not necessarily the wrong time, but like if it's gonna happen, it'll happen.
So you believe what's for you is for you.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. You can't.
Yeah. So like, but I also don't believe in like relationships as failures. I think that you potentially can circle back. So I'm not looking at this
really.
like,
I recall a few months ago you were like, I don't double dip, or I wouldn't.
So what is C?
I'm growing up a little bit.
Okay, because I said like I would double dip if the reasons why.
I would not double dip with what I've currently dated.
Okay, I feel you. Theoretically, you would.
Theoretically, it could be possible, but I don't believe in like right person, wrong time, because they're not right at the end of the day. Like it didn't work for whatever reason that it is. Maybe you could come back and things might change, but like I don't know.
But I think double dipping is believing in the concept that you could be the right person at the wrong time.
It's all hypothetical. That's what I'm saying.
It is hypothetical.
No, what I'm saying, so I'm kind of on the fence with that. Like, people really don't change.
What? Hold on.
I think people evolve, which means that you started from wherever you started from, and you've inched out a little here, maybe there.
When I talk to like old married couples, and a lot of their issues, especially when I talk to older women, is that, you know what? When I look back on my relationship, he didn't change. There were some things that I did.
It's more of a issue of can, not don't or
no, but
won't.
What I'm saying is he was what he was, and I quieted myself on certain issues. And as time progressed, those issues really didn't change. I just was no longer quiet about it.
I feel like I'm a big believer that like both individuals in a relationship should be changing.
Ideally.
It's no longer about yourself. You got it. There's always going to be compromise in a relationship. And compromise is not a bad thing.
It's not in the right situation. But I'm just looking at relationships that I've seen growing up and around me. When I talk to women, it's more likely like I essentially stifled myself on certain issues, and like he really didn't change. And so, because I used to think like that's was one of my fears with marriage. Like, what if this person just completely changes somebody you don't know?
Right. I think that's more of a start how you want to finish. If those things have bothered you in the beginning, say something in the beginning.
Well, yeah, but this goes back. This might be a topic for another day. With women feeling like they're a lot of times a co-pilot to a man within society and all that stuff. So like we could come back to that.
That's also Basuda.
Yes.
I feel like in relationships, I look at it as an 80-20. I'm like 80% of this person I absolutely like. There may be a 20 that I don't agree with, or there may be a 20 that I can't. Your job is to figure out, can you deal with the 20? Like if the 20 decides to get worse, or if the 20 reaches out a little bit more, is that something that you can still deal with? And if the answer is no, you need to go.
I mean, yeah, in a perfect world. But like I said, when I look and when I've talked to a lot of people, the issue isn't them changing. It's they were like this the whole time. I just can no longer stand it. And then, like there's a quote where like a lot of things change, but they tend to stay the same.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
people are more likely who they're gonna be.
Yeah, but
Like your tolerance for them may change.
Exactly, and that's the tolerance as well as discernment. I think like the older you get, women, your discernment grows, and what would have been okay with you 20 years ago just isn't okay now, and that's also okay. You changed. You used to be able to tolerate it. Now you can't.
Going back to double dipping. You see how I'm
What I'm saying is,
but you kind of get.
Yeah, I get it. But if the reasons why we broke up in the first place or why we didn't work in the first place are now gone, like that maybe we break up for another reason this time. I don't know. It's an experience. It's not a failure. Yeah. But you know, if those things are gone, I don't see a problem. Like, and if the reasons why we broke up weren't toxic, like I don't see a problem in trying again.
I'm a little more on like. We'll see.
I mean, I personally like will not, but you know, like maybe I need to grow.
Well, do you believe in right person, wrong time? Then I know this was your question.
Do I believe in right person, wrong time?
Yeah, or wrong, right? Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah. I do believe such. Like, I definitely believe like there are instances where you meet someone who like maybe a bit more mature. Or, you know, and I know people don't like this excuse, but maybe you don't have the capacity to date someone right now.
No, I agree with
I
that.
totally agree with
As
that.
somebody who is not ready, like I've gotten better, but there is a level of vulnerability that you really need to have in order to date and date successfully and be in a relationship.
And I think too many people, especially in our generation,
and security and like confidence in yourself. I think a lot of people are very insecure when they start a relationship. And that creates a lot of issues.
All a relationship does is magnify that. Go ahead. You said something generation.
I was just going to say, I feel like a lot of people, especially in our generation, are too focused on being in a relationship and not really appreciating being single and learning themselves.
My drops! My drops!
Listening! Oh, we love this. Being single. I think people undervalue that. I have a friend
your single season.
Who is basically, since I've known them, kind of been in a relationship
every single time.
And doesn't know what to do with that one, probably.
I was like, I really haven't known them to be out of a relationship for more than like a few months.
If being in a relationship is like your identifier,
and then the biggest thing, what I think their issue is, their parents got together pretty young. So they're thinking like, okay, I'm this age, I should be married, I want to have a long marriage like my parents. And I'm like, if something were to happen, you don't even know what life is like just by yourself.
Definitely. I would say I've probably been one of those people more often than not. I think it's the longest stint that I've been single, like since the 9th grade. From 9th grade up until all of college, I spent 75% of that time in a relationship.
I'm so glad to have you on the host side.
She'd be so happy. And then I'd be like, I'm good. I'm not dating right now.
It's needed.
I do think so.
You really...
You learn
like
yourself.
You said,
yeah.
You talk about insecurities and things are magnified in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you also learn a lot more discernment when you're single of things
you
that you
definitely do
allow and won't allow.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know that's probably like the reason why I've been more successful in dating. I feel like now, like than maybe in the past, is that I take active breaks, because when you've been dating actively for a long time, you start to think, oh, maybe this is okay. Maybe this just is a part of the game. Like, no. If you come out of it and then you take some time to yourself to be like, no, I really can't deal with that. So I definitely agree. A single season is necessary. And somewhat in that single season, you realize maybe I don't need to hoe in this season. Maybe I can be single and just not hoe. Yeah. Maybe I can get back to it. Like there's so many different waves in being single. Definitely. And you don't need to text someone when you're bored or get on an app when you're bored.
Did you feel like that was personal attack? Because I feel like a lot of heat. That's why she's not making eye contact.
No. I really like the way my mic looks today. It's just
it's like, just at me next time. Right
I'm also saying it for myself, because I've definitely done it before.
But I feel like I am honest with myself enough to know that even though like you want the Disney movie, like I'm not ready for a relationship.
Right. And I understand that. I just think I think it's a toxic trait when you go on an app and you're like, and you don't tell someone, hey, or that's not on your profile. I'm just here. I'm just here because I'm bored. Like I'm just here.
But then you also, you never know what you're looking for. You can meet somebody that's nice. I think that we don't go with the flow enough.
Wouldn't this go back to the conversation about like giving them a choice if they want to do that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I
think so. If you're literally texting me because you're bored, Give me a choice to opt into that bullshit that you're not serious. And on a dating app, most people aren't. That's what's really funny. Most people on dating app are not looking for a relationship.
There's levels to the dating app. Like,
I think that there is.
You know.
I only go on Tinder to fuck. Like that's literally it.
But I feel like we don't give people enough license to figure out what it is exactly. So, okay, this was actually one of the shit that came through that I saw on social media. It was a text thread between a woman and a man. All right, let me pull it up. This actually is a nice segue. All right. So she was like, or he was like, what are you doing? And she said, at night class. I want to see you tonight. She said, no, thank you. This person asked, why? I'm just no longer interested. Mm-hmm. The person said, all right, why though? I don't know. I was curious. I had it. Now I'm good. No hard feelings, so you cool. This person said, all right. And then I think the next day later, they were like, you hoe ass bitch.
Wow.
Right.
That's strong.
I wanted to talk about it for that response into like when you're honest, this is the response you're getting. But
yeah, but that's also just because you were honest doesn't mean someone has to accept it.
That's true. So what I'm saying is I just feel like we don't give people a license to figure it out. Like I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm not super serious. And when I tell people, I'm like, I'm not looking for anything. I said, I'm just looking for like a cuddy buddy.
As long as you say that up front, I don't have a problem. But I feel like not enough people actually say it up front. And if you had to be honest, do you always say that?
Yes.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I mean, last time I got in the app, that's what I said. I just want to, like, I'm just looking for a vibe. I'm just trying to chill.
I feel like being purposely, like, ambiguous is not even better.
Is that? I hear that.
Because at that point, say, I want a vibe. Like, what is a vibe? Everyone...
I just don't like wasting people's time. And I understand what you mean. We don't give people enough, like, room. But if a nigga texted that to a woman, I tried it, I didn't like it, we still cool, right? I don't think it'd be the same response.
You don't think it would be you a hoe ass bitch? You a hoe ass nigga?
But I'm saying their response. Okay, so what was the like general like masses response? It was he took it disrespectful and he didn't have to do that. But I'm sure a woman would probably get on social media and be like, "This fuck nigga, he's a bitch," like all these other things. Maybe she wouldn't say it to him, but she would say, yeah, he would get dragged.
Text her because I did see it on Twitter. They both equally got dragged.
Yeah,
I brought it up because I thought that it was interesting. So I'm not saying I am perfect. I think that at this point now I'm a lot better with communicating what I want. Like I said, I just want a little boo, like a little something.
Right.
I've said that.
Right.
But the thing that I find issue, right, is if you ask a guy what they want,
they'll manipulate.
If you go first.
Yeah, well, that's like the second thing I ask at this point, just so you don't have the option to bullshit me.
So a lot of times
because they'll morph into whatever you just said.
Answer will mirror yours.
Yeah.
So is that my fault then?
No, that's not your fault. If you said it first, like, well, I encourage all women, like, ask first. So they don't have the option to do that. But let's say you got caught slipping and he asked you first and you said whatever, he morphed it into the same thing. But I'm saying, like, I feel like if the roles were reversed, it wouldn't be as much, well, we got to give people the chance to explore. I don't think it'd be the same thing.
I hear you.
If a guy said that to a girl?
Yeah, like how many times has it been like, oh yeah, we was vibing, we was cool, I tried it, I was curious, but now, you know.
Oh yeah, nah, he would get dragged.
He would get dragged through the mud for the same exact thing, being honest. The second you realize you didn't like it, being honest, he would get dragged.
But that is because we talked about this. We have really big egos as people, and we take certain things as like
very personal
attacks and instant rejection instead of more like it just didn't work out. That happens in life.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I feel like people should take that more on dating apps. Like it just didn't work out. Like, all right,
I don't have a problem with it like just not working out. I don't think it's always stated as explicitly as you're saying it is.
I don't think so as well.
I really don't think so. And I think like if
I agree.
If you're saying like, oh, we're just going with the flow, then like how about you act like you're just going with the flow? Like I really can't stand when people say, oh, we're just going with the flow. Like why is this person at your family cookout? Why that just doesn't seem like, I feel like there are levels to going with the flow and you're reaching into everything about a relationship without wanting the relationship, and that's really annoying to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But those people also have different definitions.
They do.
So then go all the way back, bring this episode full circle.
Okay.
You need to talk to a motherfucker and lay out what you feel like is like it boils down to communication. But like I said, I believe communication is words.
Yeah.
It's understanding. It's effective understanding. Like,
And it's knowing yourself as well. Like,
Yeah,
if you
you gotta
don't
be honest.
believe you are the person to do that, don't go around saying, "Oh yeah, no, I can handle this." 'Cause
I'll go with the flow.
Let's talk about this. I know a lot of women, and I know a lot of men who was outside talking about like, "Oh yeah, they're about to have a hot girl summer. They're about to have a hot boy."
You got too many
summer."
feelings for it.
And
Yeah.
you way too emotional for that, girl. It's
And ain't it pregnant.
okay.
Exactly.
That's not that lifestyle is
Slipping.
not good for
I saw
everyone.
one tweet and it's like the friend that's planning the Miami trip just found out she was pregnant. And it's like
Oh,
a
the
video.
sad hurt.
And he was like, God damn it.
I was rooting for you.
Like,
Okay, so that brings us to something else that we wanted to discuss. How do you feel about ghosting? We can first dispel the myth.
All right.
Who do you think does it more?
this might be a long episode.
I think women
Yeah.
ghost more than men, but I also feel like the way they ghost is different from men. Like men will like ghost by like not responding, where a woman would ghost by like just blocking you on all platforms.
As somebody who does a little bit of both.
I have a system. So if I just feel like, maybe we just don't need to talk anymore,
That
I may
block
not.
button is quick.
Oh, you're good. I may not respond to like one message. Let's see if you reach back out to me. Okay. And then the second time I'm like, okay, I will be honest and I will tell you up front. But that's if like, we've been dating and I just decide, hey, I think we want different things. So, send a really nice PR, HR
It's a
message.
valiant effort.
Yeah. I appreciate you and I wish you the best in all your endeavors.
I think there's levels
Ideally,
to
that
ghosting.
would be it. But sometimes
Niggas don't take that. Because I really
literally-
tried to send that to someone. Why?
I literally had to tell somebody I left you last year. Like
I left you in 2020.
Yes, and like they texted me from like a different number. Like,
Yeah,
why
that's
am I blocked?
really creepy.
And I was like,
But honestly,
because
our
you're.
society promotes guys reaching out even after the block.
No, that
some
is
girls
weird.
Are like, if
No,
you
it
didn't
is-
email me after I blocked you.
No, people. Do
You're
say
right,
that.
and that's trash.
We've got this
Toxic.
whole idea
That
of like
is.
toxic love means something.
We don't
Like
know
in
what
order
that
for your
relationship
relationship to
is.
be something to talk about, you've got to go through some sort of struggle. There has to be like a back and forth.
No.
You've got to like earn love, quote unquote.
We left that in the 90s. It shouldn't even been a 90s thing. We left it. It's dead. That's so ugly. The ghetto.
To be honest, and I always say, and this relates to like ghosting. Like I honestly think that there are like levels to it. Like I do believe in ghosting with stipulations. Like if it was just like we was just fucking, or it was like a situationship, like, oh yeah, most definitely ghosting. But if it was like dating to like marry, well, let me change this. If it was dating to get into a relationship or being in a relationship to get into marriage, like, I feel like an explanation is owed, like that person needs that closure. But if it's like a regular person on the street,
So do you not value someone you're just fucking?
How did that happen? Ooh.
I'm just asking because if you don't believe someone is worth the explanation, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying I haven't done. I'm just asking, like, is it because?
I wouldn't say I don't value someone that I'm fucking, but if I am fucking that person just because I am fucking that person, I don't take them as seriously as someone that I'm looking to get into a relationship
And I
with.
agree.
And so, like, ghosting them to me is just like, okay, well, this
You knew what
sex
it was.
horrible, and like, if I ghosted you, you should know the reason that it happened if we were only fucking.
That is another question. Do you tell someone when it's bad? It's probably a detour from guessing.
Oh, yes.
Ghosting.
We're talking about sex?
I
Yeah.
believe
Do you?
keep people accountable? Let that nigga
I
know if
haven't,
his dick
but I
is
need to.
trash.
But I do need to. I probably do ghost as well.
Oh yeah, no. My
I know the reason.
My roommate walked away, but she'll definitely tell you the stories and can show you the screenshots of when I told people, oh yeah, no, that it was trash.
It wasn't it.
I'm sorry.
I feel like the best person who's probably the most honest is our lovely guest, Cristal. I having a bad experience, like, it dried up, and I was like, come on up. It's okay. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's a cue. I think that's a pretty good sign, a pretty
like,
good cue.
tap, tap.
But it's not explicit. It's not, hey, that wasn't great. And also, I think we need to do a better job of guiding. Like,
Well,
maybe
there's
that
an
person just
orgasm gap. Like,
that person just doesn't know. Oh yeah, because men are usually guaranteed to.
well, as heterosexual women, we are
Least likely.
we have least
Bottom
amount-
totem pole.
which is like I said.
Tragic.
So I'm a
Very, isn't it?
I don't say repeat the quote. My biggest flaw is being attracted to men because it's low key a bad pussy investment. But I can't be fighting over fingers. I can't.
You're such a trash. All right. So when it comes to ghosting, so you openly just ghost people if it was just sex, but someone that you are dating, someone you took on dates, you will give them an explanation.
How many dates?
That's what it sounds like.
How many dates? I would say like
One or two.
One or two? No. You
didn't like renew the.
We
that was a
don't-
free trial.
We didn't renew the
Yeah,
contract.
I was gonna
exactly.
say that's more like a test run. Like this
It is a test run.
You put your credit card in and you cancel before it charges you back. That you gotta eat that. And you charge that to the game. So you're telling me that you're sending HR messages to people you've gone on 1 or 2 dates with when it doesn't work out.
Or that
I'm
you've been
trying
on one-night
to.
stands with.
I don't want to stand person. At least I'm not now, so I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have the issue, but I'm trying to. That's the level of open communication that I want to get to. I want to treat people like a human, and just because it didn't work out, hey, I look at everyone's LinkedIn before we go on a date too.
What?
So I looked at everyone's LinkedIn before we go on a date. So I may
What's
use
your
you for
LinkedIn?
something else. My name,
You have one?
of course,
Add me on like that.
I will.
That's the
I
real
will.
dating app.
Yeah.
What?
The real
The real checks are cut on LinkedIn. Yes, I definitely. And if you don't have one, number one, it's a red flag for me. Number one.
Can we get rid of like sliding in DMs on LinkedIn? Like, please.
Oh. But what I'm saying is like, maybe I'm speaking this into existence. Like the type of men I want to date, like actually have LinkedIn. Like they actually like the only thing that's not the only thing that you can offer me is a date.
Yeah.
There's some other things that I can learn from you or that
need
maybe
some
we
meat
can
on
do.
that
Like,
bone,
yeah.
some
And
substance.
that's perfectly fine for me. So yeah, I may send you an HR message. I don't want to, especially when you think about your dating app range, I usually don't go out of 20 miles. I may run into you somewhere else. So just off of the strength of that, you're a person. I'll send you a message. Not that bad. It's
You
okay.
like that? Maybe I should practice
That's
that
not
more.
great. That's the level I'm trying to aspire to.
Aspire to be?
Yeah, I'm trying to aspire. I'm
with the end in mind.
trying to get there. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. Okay, so we talked
I'm
about.
still immature. But I'm working on it. I'm not trying to be as like assholey or bitchy.
Ain't shit.
But the thing is, you acknowledge it though. That's
You
that's
could-
self-awareness.
I mean, I tell them that. Like,
I think niggas think that's a pickup line.
like, no, baby, I'm upfront and honest.
Yeah.
I'm not shit. I'm working on myself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like guys can't handle if you were to dish something similar to them. And also, they have this, I think they have very big egos and they can't conceptualize, you being intimate with them and like you not really seeing it anything past that.
I agree with that.
So like,
Yeah.
So you've been in my car, we've had sex. What do you mean you're not?
You don't
trying
love me.
to, right?
No. No, but in the same accountability, women also have egos. You mean it wasn't
exactly.
it? We went on a date and you didn't like
there
me.
are
It
several
wasn't
women
it.
Who don't? To me, it seems like sex and consent and understanding sometimes it goes only one way,
Yeah,
and that's not true.
yeah,
But that is also like a bigger think piece that I kind of want to get into, maybe on a later episode, with like being able to say no into non-sexual things, and that leads you to be able to say no to sexual things. Because I don't think we don't give men the same liberty.
We don't.
Like, if a man were to turn me down and be like, the fuck is wrong with him?
yeah. Or they'll assume that he's gay, which is something that we'll get into like in the next episode. I've been out with a friend, and she threw it at this guy. Now, granted, this guy was fucked up. Like he was clearly intoxicated. He wasn't in his right mind anyway, and she thought that was the perfect time to slide. So she went over there, and he was just kind of like blowing her off a little bit, like, no, like I'm good. And she came back over to me, and she was
That
like,
man
he
was
must
trying
be
to
gay.
not throw up. He was breathing in and out his
Right,
nose every 1 to 2 seconds.
It was at a frat cookout too, and I was
Yeah.
like, girl, that was
But I think,
dumb
like you
from
said,
jump. But the
we-
toxicity of that was just like, okay.
Yeah, we have really big egos
Yeah.
as women. And I think that is an issue as well. Like, we can't put them to a standard that we can't ourselves meet. That's why I'm not dating, because of the type of person I want to date. I'm not at that point yet. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to, like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And I think men are allowed to have preferences, just like women are allowed to have preferences. And so just because you're cute doesn't mean every man should want you.
Yes.
Big facts.
And you should not treat yourself like general admissions anyway. Be VIP.
And honestly, like being cute, a lot of people don't understand. Like a lot of like you can have attraction to a person without wanting to be with that person. So like maybe you're attracted to this person, you want them. Don't you want to be in a relationship with them? Oh heavens no.
Being cute is not a personality trait either.
Especially
think
how
that
toxic
is-
people be. No, please.
That's real. But I think people, it's like, if you meet a guy, right, and he's like, "Oh, you're smart and you're attractive," we should probably like do something instead of just being
Cool.
yeah.
We're cool.
So I
That's
think
fine.
that we have our mind is a little
One tracked.
wired interestingly,
Yeah.
but this was
So
fun.
while we're on the date, we're gonna wrap up with this and then we can block. So on the subject of dating, do you think that men should always pay
Always pay.
for the
No.
date for a date that they ask for, or are there stipulations? Are there stipulations?
Let's contextualize
Yes.
this.
Okay.
Because when you said dating, like I'm thinking like they're in a relationship.
Oh no. I think when you're in a relationship, it should be like I have no problems paying for a whole entire meal,
so-
flying. So I don't have a problem with
You
that
would
in a
fly a
relationship.
Negro
I'm
out.
saying like if we took a
No.
vacation. No, I'm saying like if we
Like,
took a
that's your
vacation
man.
together and he's paid for 4 fucking vacations, yes, I can pay for the 5th one.
Well,
That's a good 20% ratio. I'm okay with that.
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's
talking
why I
about
wanted to
20%.
conceptualize it.
I mean, I am, for me, I like giving really good gifts. And for me, like I've given gifts where they spend a lot of money and I'm always really excited to give that. So I'm not saying no, but I'm just surprised hearing that from you, that you would fly a nigga out.
You not no random nigga.
acting like it's a random
Not no
nigga.
rent like mine. Like do the I
Yeah.
date and do exactly like we're in an exclusive relationship. Yeah, I don't have a problem doing that because how like expensive is that? Like every time we leave the house, you expect him to pay for everything
I don't know.
every
Yeah.
time,
No, I
and that
get it.
seems to be like if he can do it, that's great. But 24,
I
25,
feel like-
that's not as likely.
That is a notion. You dated, right?
Yeah.
And you don't pay for everything, and you don't have the friends that you've had and other women that you've talked to. Do the men pay for every single thing that they do, or do they pay
The man pays.
every single time?
Yeah, but you also have to think. So I went out. I'm just really used to seeing that just around me, like just like my parents. I went out with them to MGM, like my last week staying with them, and they definitely spoiling me. We went to MGM. We went to this bar called Taps together, and like my mom, she ain't ever looked like she was about to pull out nothing. Like it's not even like a fake me. Like I'll get it. She may even say, "Oh yeah, babe, I got the tip." It's like, I mean, give her this card. It's not. So I'm just really not used to it. Like if you ask me to pay on a date, you don't like me. We don't need to go out no more. I'm good.
I was gonna say, I feel like you should, if you ask me out.
I also believe in that. That's why I don't ask niggas on dates. Very
I
simple.
agree to that.
It's very, very simple.
But I mean, like I said, I like giving gifts. Like that brings me joy, especially when it's nice. Like I did that.
Okay, well let's go ahead. What do you
Yes.
think?
Oh, I was gonna say like if a guy asks a woman out on a date, then yeah, he should be paying for that 100%. Ain't no 50-50. Ain't no
Ooh, it's just
you
so
cover
ghetto.
the tips, I'll cover the bill. No, it's like you
Hey.
invited this. You were the one who
I
initiated.
don't even mind the
this.
tips. If you got cash, it's more like who has cash. Do you care? I don't carry a lot.
I don't carry cash.
I don't, think
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I had cash.
Me
So I
either.
feel like in that regard, I don't think it's that bad.
Right.
I remember being out with somebody, and I know I did something, and they like cash at me later. I was
Oh.
like, it's not bad.
I enjoy receiving cash outs from men. It's not required, but
No,
I
meant,
do
like,
enjoy it.
I'd cover something, and they cash at me back.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. Not if you ask me to hang out, we're not doing that. Because why would you ask me out to spend my own money? We're not friends.
gonna hold you.
We're
There was
dating.
one instance where my card was not working because my like chip was broken or whatever.
I think
I'm
that
realizing-
happened.
That's a fine circumstance. I get that. I totally get
She's
that.
just not gonna text you back. She's gonna send you
No.
that HR.
This is the thing.
Go ahead, lie in the
We-
microphone.
We zelling at the table. Listen, I'm letting you know. It's not that I don't have the funds. It's just the funds method that I'm trying to use is ineffective at this point.
Which is fine. And I definitely, I just feel like, how you gonna ask someone out and be unprepared? Another thing, like, please, why are you asking someone, oh, where do you want to? I don't know, nigga. Am I taking you out or are you taking me out? Which one is it?
I think you
Giving
should-
someone options is okay, but being like, okay, wide open. I don't have a time period. I don't have a date. You don't have any of these things. Just like, dang, you weren't expecting me to say yes, huh? You have nothing else planned
I didn't
at
think I
all.
would get this far.
That is exactly. It's giving like, dang, huh? I can't do it. I also want to know, do you think a coffee date is a real date?
Oh, this is a very unpopular opinion, and I'm gonna say I actually just got on this wave, so we're gonna kill it. I do not think I'm about to be balling out $200 on a first date, ma'am. No, thank you.
I think there are levels to this date, and I personally feel like if you ask a woman on a date, and this to some place like Applebee's or Fridays, because I've seen women do videos and they're like, "Oh, I'm not eating at no chain restaurant." It's just like you can't afford the place you want someone else to take you to, so you need to be quiet.
No, we doing.
I feel like
we doing the $20
There
Starbucks
are
date.
levels.
I don't see any issues with going. I also think it's a safety thing. Like, I would much rather us meet at a place that I'm familiar with, that I know that if something were to go on, they're going to call the cops, than a place you don't know. So, I don't know.
And I would say this: it also matters what's the reason that I'm taking them out. Like, if I'm taking them out with the expectation that I'm only gonna smash, not gonna lie, like girls don't want to say that, but I'm kind of paying for the currency. You know,
Yes,
you are, and we said that before. Just pay for it. If that's it,
like,
just pay for
you
it.
don't want to.
And you pay for it in different ways. Like,
you
being a
don't-
woman is expensive. And I think that that's one of the reasons why a lot of times men pay, is because how much does your hair cost?
This was $200.
All right, and let's say you get your eyes, almost done. Makeup is what? A cheap face is over $100.
Yes.
If you're using only drugstore products. Certain
Yeah. So when you
outfits,
say all you had to do was show up, I'm like, you don't know how much money it took for me to show up.
that is the case too. So I think,
All I'm
I
saying
think
in the wage
there
gap,
are levels.
It's-
Go ahead.
It's much easier to take someone out on an extravagant date. Like, people would be like, if I was to look at you and be like, "Oh yeah, I think you're cute. Here's $200. Let's fuck." Highly offended. But if I'm like, "Oh, I think you're cute. Let's go out, spend the same amount of money, and then we fuck."
yeah, no,
Same
that's
thing.
real. Yeah.
It is, but if let's say someone that we
Honestly,
said
if
someone
I'm
is just
trying-
down
if
with
I'm trying to
it.
get to know the individual.
You'll take them out
we
somewhere.
get in the Starbucks date. We get in the walking, hiking date because I want to know. And if the date
I
goes
do
well,
like
we're gonna
active
evolve.
dates.
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to
Oh,
go
yeah,
to
what happened
the
on your last
carnival,
one?
So,
you know what I mean?
bitch, shut up. So the thing is, I like active dates. So I went on an active date with someone at Dave & Buster's, and I found out a lot about them versus if we would have went out to dinner. So no, I'm not saying dinner has to be the thing. I don't do coffee dates because that sounds like something you threw out to me because you didn't know if you like me or not. And I think that men should stop going out with women that they don't like. If you've never had a conversation with this person outside of texting, that's not real time. So you going out with someone like you don't know them at all. Like it's just weird to me. Like
wouldn't you say the purpose of a date is to get to know someone?
it is, but when I get to a date, I don't just accept. Maybe it's because I stopped accepting dates just to go. So if I accept
So
a
you're not
date,
doing the free meal date.
no. I used to be. That used to be the only reason why I was on a dating app. I'm
She
not gonna
literally
lie.
was like, I
I'm
don't
not
pay
gonna
for
lie.
dinner.
And at
You
the-
should download this app.
after going-
You know what happened? A drug dealer picked me up and take me on a ride, and we just sold drugs.
I heard about that day.
Look,
It's like,
I know-
I'm still
How
traumatized.
disrespectful. He's so bold. What if he was the feds and he's just comfortable with this?
I know, and I was so stressed.
I thought it was funny.
I just need you to understand, like, I literally.
I just look. I've grown up to the point where my time is more valuable to me than just going on a date just to go. Like it really is. So if I accept a date from you, it's because I like you. It's not because I want to talk over dinner. It's not. That's not it. Like at all. And I think men, you should not take women out that you don't already know that you like. Like you spend a lot of money like trying to get to know someone.
Only reason I disagree with that is because you can click with someone online and in person it's just
Yeah,
not
I
what's
think
up.
that you
You
should.
definitely could. And I'm not talking about 2 weeks need to go by, but like I like to at this point, I'm not going on a date with you if we haven't had a FaceTime conversation or a call
Google
conversation.
Duo conversation.
Bitch, don't do that. That was the one nice guy. You always say like I turn away nice guys. One nice guy I actually really liked. Okay, don't do that. But what I'm saying is, like I need a conversation before we can actually go out. Because I don't want to get there and you dry as hell through talk. What is the point? I wasted my time. You wasted your time and money. I don't see a point. Like I do need something else before I can accept a date from someone. So I guess I look through it from that standpoint, and I recognize not all women do. I recognize that. Oh, he said he paying. I said I'm going. I get that. I also don't think you need to shell out $200 for the first time you meet someone.
That's ridiculous. I feel like
And that's
like that
super
being the
entitled.
standard is
That's super
ridiculous.
entitled because what about you within the first 24 hours to 72 hours of you meeting someone makes them think you're that worth it or
and
special?
honestly, the
I
way-
think that,
You are not that special, girl.
yeah,
Like,
but
way
you know,
the time
niggas
I'm
got
going
it. They'll spend
that's
it.
another thing. If he took you to Ruth Chris on a Tuesday, you just lucked up on a Tuesday. He was going there anyway. You a +1. There's nothing special about that.
But I do think that there is this idea, you know, to me, the brokest people are always the one that are like adding math and calculating. Well, I don't know you, and I'm not gonna spend money. She's gonna be out for my money. Like nobody wants the $42.75.
You can't use you for your money, baby. You can't use you for it. What I gonna do?
That's the only issue I have with what you said. It's like I think that guys pocket watch when they had no but change in that.
Well, when did I? Which part of what I said led you there?
Oh, like you're not worth the money, or like why would you?
No,
spend
I'm saying
$200?
$200. I think is astronomical to spend on someone you just met. I think
feel
that's
like
unnecessary.
That is, if that's in your price range.
Yeah. Okay, I feel that. If that's already what you were gonna do, then okay. But if you shelled out extra money because
even then, you just need to be better managing your money. That's not my problem that you're not good with pocket management.
But this is also why I think guys, like, you should stop asking girl where she wants to eat if you're not prepared to go, if your wallet is not prepared to go wherever she says. And a lot of guys do that. So it's not always the guy's choice and whether they ended up at some expensive restaurant. It could be.
You don't have to, but at the same token, right? You don't have to go there.
You don't have to go, but you may lose that girl. Like, I've seen threads like that too. But I'm thinking from a guy's perspective, I could see, like, dang, if I don't go here, like, okay, I may lose out on the opportunity to meet you. Now, granted, that means you probably don't need to date her because your wallet's not going to be able to last that relationship anyway. But, like, I think I got lost in my point.
Mm-hmm. I think so, too.
Yeah. But I think 200, I think that's really astronomical for someone you just met. I don't think it's necessary.
I think that it depends on who the person is. Because most niggas with money, they're going to spend $1,000.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's necessary. I just
not even most. But my thing is, like, because of the environment that we are in, we have a lot of people who expend more than they can afford because they feel like they need to. Like, there's a lot of people we have a lot of Splenda daddies out here, lots of them.
We have been talking for so long.
They say
okay. We'll close out. But go ahead, finish your point.
I want to have another episode.
We will. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, they don't have the funds, but because they feel like they need to shell it out, they would rather, like, get some pussy over, like, paying their mortgage, which to me is ridiculous. But
I think
it's the woman's fault.
No, it's not.
It's society.
I think it's whack if you think you have to spend a certain amount of money to get someone to hang out with you. If you feel like if you don't spend $300,
they're whack.
Both.
I agree to that.
Both. And I guess my major thing is most women who expect that to be the standard, please let that be your regular Wednesday night as well. If it's not, and if the only time you can go to this restaurant is if someone else pays for it, how could that be what you're, like, off the back asking for? You're not even used to it.
Because bitches who ask for it get it. The people who don't ask for it don't get it. All the women who ask for bags, more than likely, or have this standard, or I wanted you to spend.
I think when we tell people that, we are seeing a gram, like, highlight reel. We have no idea what it took for her. Do you really think it was that simple? Oh, I asked for the money, so he gave it to me. You don't think there's anything else she has to do? I think that's a real Instagram way of looking at it.
No, I hear you, but what I'm saying is closed mouths don't get fed.
I agree.
So there's a certain people who may quote unquote deserve it, but they won't ask for it because, oh, I don't want him to think that I'm this, or pride or whatever. And the person who you can't fuck unless I get a bag, what they gonna get?
Didn't we talk about this the last spot?
A bag? I wasn't there.
Oh, we're about to close out.
Yes.
Quick story time.
Oh, all right.
It'll be quick. Go ahead.
We went to this Hispanic dancing bachata thing. You know, we was dancing with the girlies. You know, we was enjoying ourselves. they were showing us out, and then we get to, like, the first set of black girls that we saw for the night. And
Get
so
excited.
me and my boy, we were like, oh yeah, you know, let's go talk to them. So we go to them, and they're like, oh yeah, we're not gonna dance for y'all. We're not gonna dance with you guys unless you guys buy me a drink. I never walked away so fast. I'm like, girl, I was just giving you a chance on the strength of you being black. Like,
Oh my God.
if we're being quite honest, it's not that deep for me.
No,
There's 1,000 other girls out here.
yeah,
Bye.
but I'm just saying that is their standard, and there's
I know.
people
I do not shame women for having standards.
or whatever their request is, and there's people that come and meet those requests. So I just feel like why would you ask? Why not? Either you're gonna meet it or not. Like,
I'm just saying they was.
I feel like we kind of shame
women.
women in, like.
You're right. Okay, so if I came off like I was shaming women for having standards or requests, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying I think a lot of women are allowed to be, like, 4s and 5s and want to date 8s, 10s, and 9s. Like,
And they do because they're mean. This is my, like I said, mean girls get guys, but they have that standard. Like, I'm going to say, I'm only fucking with baller niggas, right? Whether I'm a 4 or not, what's going to happen? You're not a baller, I'm not going to fuck with you. I'm going to end up fucking with a baller nigga. I'm just saying, like, you kind of put out what you get in this whole...
I don't think it's as easy as that. I think you actually have to actively move to places like that. Like, those women who say you only fuck ballers, like, that's part of their job. They move from city to city to get ballers. It's nowhere near as easy as...
So that's why they're going on $200 dates and getting money
but
for rent.
there's nowhere near as simple as just asking and they're like, oh, yeah, let me...
Have you met niggas? It's not that hard.
So you've asked someone for $200 and they just gave it to you. Who?
Obi.
That was your boyfriend.
Before that, you weren't dating at that point.
At all. He was just some random friend. He was some random nigga. Is he a baller? Did he just have that money?
I didn't ask.
I don't want to say nothing, but that sounded like simp territory. I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, like, you have this thing, and I'm not sure what your intent is. It's kind of like women are making these requests and it doesn't really make any sense, or like, why are you asking for this?
Well, you know what? That's right. And that's another woman's prerogative or request. I guess for me, like, I wouldn't ask someone to take me somewhere to actively always request to constantly go places that I personally can't afford, because to me it would just make me feel like, I don't know, like,
yeah, but that's you.
But it's not like I have a problem with a man doing anything for me. Like, that's not a problem at all. It's just some random dude like I'm there. It's just, I don't know. But that is me. That is me.
That's why you got a Chanel bag. You gotta start requesting this. I'm not saying I do, because I also have that same pride. I'd much rather get it for myself.
But is it pride?
Yes, you're literally just speaking from pride and ego. Yeah,
we'll have to come back.
No, it's literally just pride.
I'm saying I have to unpack. I'm just saying I have to come back, and we'll have to come back.
But we've had a long talk, and very few of it was about the topic. But I've enjoyed this so much. All right, thanks for listening.
World.
Check us next time. Yeah.